Okay. Okay. I'm gonna make sure we're live on here. It's loading right now. Okay, I'm live. All right. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm so excited to see everyone. Let me change my view to gallery view. I need to figure out how to do all of this. How do I do? Oh, view, gallery. Okay, now let's see. Let's see if it loads before we talk, because I want everyone to see your guys' beautiful faces too. So I want to make sure it's loading. Okay, yay, it's on there. So excited, so excited. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. I am really, really excited about today. This has been something that I have been kind of dreaming about, but really trying to figure out the best way to flesh it out. And I am so honored and excited that I have some amazing soulmate clients that I get to bring in front of you guys today to just share their experience about the Elevate method. And I want to share a little bit about why I decided to do this. So when I started the program, I put a lot of like blood, sweat, and tears figuratively into building it out. And it was a lot of like my ideas in my head and trying to bring them, manifest them, trying to bring them to fruition. And it was a lot of like trial and error and a lot of learning. And so as I've grown this program, I have really come to love it so much. But I recognize that I'm a little bit biased in the way I feel about it because I'm the one that created it. And so what I thought about is I was like, I want to bring some people that have really been just putting in the work, really showing up for their vision, really taking this next level serious and bring them in front of you so that they could share a little bit about their experience here. So what we're going to do this morning is that we're going to take some time to kind of just like popcorn style it. I have a couple questions for them and we can popcorn style. I'll ask them questions about their experience. They'll be able to share a little bit. They'll be able to share a little bit about their brand, their vision, where you can follow them, what they're working on, all the amazingness that they have to offer this world. But then also you guys can feel free if you join us live to go ahead and plug in any questions in the comments and I can definitely ask that as well. So I'm going to pull it up on my phone. Turn down the volume, make sure it doesn't conflict with it. So I'm going to pull it up on my phone. So if you see me looking over there, that's just me to make sure there's any questions popping up live. But other than that, we are going to go ahead and get started. So I have Germany, Erica, and Alexis with me this morning, and they are some amazing, amazing women doing amazing things. And so what we'll start with is, you're welcome. What we'll start with is if you guys, we'll start with Germany, then we'll go to Erica and then Alexis. If you can start and let me know who you are and tell a little bit about your brand and your business.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. This is an amazing opportunity. I'm so happy to see everyone. My name is Germany, and my business is the Germination brand, and it is a personal development brand that I started to help mainly people in low-income communities to overcome their mindsets so that they can have the lives that they would like to have, so they can overcome limiting beliefs, self-doubting, self-sabotaging, the survival mentality. Because I realized basically that a lot of the people in the hood are struggling based off of just living in this survival's mentality. And I lived in that mentality for a really long time. And starting my personal development journey, I realized that once I was out of that survival's mentality, that I could actually do more, I can accomplish more, I can manifest more to me. It just was a different lifestyle. So I decided to start this brand because I realized that working on self first is first. And it's a mindset thing. So I started Germination. Germination, of course, starts with a J. And it's just planting seeds in order to grow into a spore. And I plant the seeds of confidence, the seeds of transformation. It's just a whole bunch of empowerment seeds that I plant in my brand. And that's pretty much it for me.
Awesome. That's beautiful. And that's amazing because I know that your heart is there. And just wanting to give back to the culture is so dope. Like, and so I love, love, love what you do. And I just remember like when you first came into the program, looking at your brand and like watching like the motivational quotes and the motivational sayings and just all of that encouragement that you had. And so if you're not already following her, follow her, because I mean, it's early in the morning, you'll wake up and you're going to see something motivational that encourages you, keeps you moving. And it's just really, really, really powerful. All right, Miss Erica, you're welcome. Miss Erica, you can go ahead.
Hello, hello. My name is Erica Anderson, and I am the founder of Inner Beauty Reigns, where I am a mindset coach and I teach women how to heal, evolve, and then thrive. So this really was born out of a time when I was contemplating going through a divorce. And in that season, just as a woman of faith, I was having a very difficult time with the decision of walking away from the marriage, because in the Christian community, we're often I guess, encouraged to stick by, no matter what in a marriage. But, I went through a lot of different scenarios that showed me that it was okay for me to let go. And even though it was difficult for me to let go, that God was not going to leave me, that my faith was still intact, and that I would be able to move forward and be able to heal, evolve, and thrive. And that is exactly what I did. And so that is what I teach other women. And the foundation of that is the mindset, uprooting the limiting the beliefs, uprooting these ideals, these principles that we're taught in the Christian community that make us feel as though we're stuck in situations. And sometimes it's very hard to let go of some of those things because we've been taught these things for so long. So as my business has evolved, I have kind of shifted from just doing personal development and mindset coaching to now incorporating how to uproot those just toxic beliefs that are rooted in religion. So that's been kind of a difficult transition in my business, but being a part of the Elevate Method has definitely helped me. So I'm excited to talk about that a little bit later.
Yes. So Eric has been with me for some time. I adore her. And I've just watched the transition. And honestly, she's been there at one of my difficult seasons because, like she mentioned, she went through a divorce, but prior to me. So when I went through mine, like she was also there through that like difficult season as well. And what I love about Erica is she's so raw and real. So like when she talked about like the toxicity around religion, she really challenges that narrative and talks about like how to build faith, but not in a way that society tells you have to build it, or in the way that the like very strict ways that you feel this like guilt or this shame that comes with it. And so she's just a force to be reckoned with in that way. And so if you're not already following Erica, definitely do it. All right, Miss Alexis, let's go.
Hi, everybody. I'm super excited. You can't tell by my Kool-Aid smile that I'm here, and I'm just so honored and excited. I'm Alexis Weimer, and I am the founder of A Piece of My Enterprises. I'm a piggyback off of these two lovely ladies and say that, the biggest foundation of my business is mindset. And what I set out to do is to help abused women heal. I have made up my own little saying that I want to be the Harriet Tubman to free abused women's minds. I just believe that, and my focus and my focal point is mothers. And I speak from experience because I believe that for myself, abuse was the largest part of my life because I was a child abused, and then it went into being an adult that was abused. And it really shaped how I showed up as a mother. It shaped how I showed up as, anything else that I was to anybody else, a sister, a cousin, a coworker. It really shaped how I interacted with people, and how I built my relationships, how I view the world. And it matters so much when you want to try and really step into your purpose in life and be all that God called you to be, but you have these blockages, and abuse is a large part of that. And that's something I recognize in myself. And when I really wanted to understand who I was, those layers of things that I had learned based on the abuse that I had to be unpacked and had to be lifted, and they were heavy. I want to help people through that. So, and I'm so excited to talk about, why I picked the Elevate method. And the Elevate method was right in alignment with everything that I want to be able to do to help women free their minds. So I'm super excited about that.
So Alexis, like I mentioned, she is a powerhouse. So like I knew bits and pieces of her story, but as she's like joined the program, I've been following more and more as she shared it. And the thing that I love most about Alexis is she's raw and vulnerable. And I feel like she's vulnerable in a way that makes you, if you've experienced something like that, feel like you feel heard, you feel supported, you feel held, you feel understood. And I myself, like I experienced abuse growing up, and listening to her story, because she talks about it in 3 different areas, like the different areas of abuse and how it played a role in the way she showed up as an adult and the way she's changing the narrative for her children. And she's in a big blended family. I mean, the way she's changing the narrative for that family and herself and just everything. I think it is so powerful and definitely so necessary. So if you are not following her, definitely check her out. She also drops like nuggets all the time. I'm like constantly sharing things that they share, because all my clients, they're just so powerful. And I don't take lightly that they chose to take this next step with the Elevate method, because they have massive work that they're called here to do. And I always say that what is desired by us is destined and available for us. And them stepping into this place and desiring to make a difference, desiring to change the narrative, desiring to change people's lives, desiring to be their own first client by first changing their lives and showing other people what's available, has been so powerful. So definitely check out these ladies. They are so amazing. So my next question, and we'll kind of go in the same order just to keep it easy, keep it flowy. My next question is, what were you experiencing in your business prior to joining the Elevate method? And what made you decide to take that next step and join the Elevate method?
Okay, so I was experiencing, I'm a new business. I'm not even legal yet. I actually launched my business in April. I launched it with a podcast. I launched it with a Facebook page, an Instagram page. I didn't know how to start. I didn't know how to do anything. All I knew how to do was use the tools that was available for me. And I did that. I used Facebook. I used Instagram. I used the podcast platform because I love to speak. And I got a logo made. I did a whole bunch of different things that I knew just off jump what I could do to just get the message out. I didn't even care basically how it was. Like, I didn't care like necessarily like if it was a certain type of way. I just needed to get it to people. I knew that eventually that I would come across, all of the different tools for my elevation later on. I just needed to start somewhere. So eventually I got to a point to where I started to look up coaching programs. So I started to search all over the internet, and I actually did find a certification program on another platform that I signed up for. It was pretty cheap, and it was like this big discount. So I decided to just go ahead and just sign up for the program. It was a life coaching program, and I know that I want to be a life coach, but I didn't know what type of life coach I wanted to be. So I just started somewhere. So I signed up. I think it was about like $20 or something. I signed up, and I got all of this information in these pre-recorded like videos and stuff, but it didn't feel that aligned to me. Like I didn't feel like that supported the people that were in the video. I can tell that they did that so long ago. They weren't accessible to me when I needed them to be. So I just kind of just fell back off of it. I really just didn't like pursue that any longer. So I just continued to kind of just find my way. And then Miss Dr. Nicolia's post just finds me, just reaches me some way. Like manifestations tell me about it. Like it literally just landed on my Facebook page. And I'm like, this lady, this is exactly what I'm feeling. This is exactly what I'm going through. Like, let me comment real quick. I'm feeling this right now. Like I'm going through this exact thing. Like, so I reached out and, she responded back like pretty quickly. And we kind of just, like, after that, I kind of was just watching her page and I was going on her website, trying to figure out, what she had to offer me. And so I looked up her website, and you don't know this, doctor, but I searched you on the Better Business Bureau to try to make sure that you wasn't like spam or anything, because it was too good to be true. And I was like, this can't be like the thing for me. so like I kept on, I kept doing my research. And eventually I got to a point to where I found the cost of the program. And I don't mind investing in myself, but at the time, it was just too much. It was too much for me. So I just thought, it's too much right now. But she's gonna always have this program. I'll just do it when I can afford it. So I stayed in contact. Like, I stayed following her page. I stayed commenting on some of her things because I still wanted to like just, support and like just show, how much I resonate, with the things that she's talking about. And then I kid you not, like randomly, like in my email, I get a scholarship opportunity. And this scholarship opportunity actually allowed me to be able to join the program. And it was really affordable. It's something that I like that fits my budget. And I felt like just really comfortable and aligned with, with what I was able, like with what we came up with. And super duper duper excited. I'm so happy that you did this. So thank you. So that's a little bit of like where I was at and prior to joining the program. So that just leads to now basically me in the program now.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. I remember when you first reached out, and at that time we had someone donate to the program. So at that time I had offered two $500 scholarships, and I felt really drawn specifically to her. So I only sent it to about 4 people that I had talked to, and I was like, the committee, like I had a group of people, I didn't even get to pick them, but I had a committee like look through applications, review it, and really just decide the best fit. And I honestly had my fingers crossed that you'd be one of them, because me and you had kind of gone back and forth in the DM, and I just felt like your vision felt so aligned with what it was that we were moving towards with the Elevate method. And I remember you actually joined it around the same time I added human design in, and you were like, whoa, this is like perfect timing. Like, oh my goodness, like I cannot wait. Like, this is so cool, like weaving it all in. And so just seeing the way that you were still open to it, and you were still like staying in touch, you were still working on your business, like even in the midst of it, was just so beautiful to witness. So thank you. I didn't even know you did all that research. That makes me feel very validated and very vetted.
You should feel validated.
All right, Erica. So I don't know if you remember the question, but like, what were you experiencing with your business prior to joining the program? And then what made you decide to finally take that next step and join the actual Elevate Method certification?
Oh my gosh. I have been so frustrated with social media and these algorithms and all of that. And so I actually started or founded Inner Beauty Reigns in 2017. I believe it was 2016 or 2017. And so I had always posted motivational, encouraging, inspiring types of messages, quotes, videos, that type of thing. And there came a point where, the engagement was good and, it was reaching people. But then last year there was, or actually more towards the beginning of 2021, there was just like this drastic drop in my engagement and the number of people that my posts were reaching. And I was really disappointed by that, because I felt like I had worked so hard to get to where I was. But then, this year, one of the gifts that I have given myself is being intentional about investing in myself. And so I had saw you post about the Elevate method a few different times. And I had also done your, I think it's called Coaches to Clients course, which I'm almost done with. So as I was going through that and I saw how, just informative it was, And, I'm continuing to post, not as consistently as I wanted to, but still enough to, what I did notice is that there's this core group of people in my audience that always responds to my posts. But I kind of got to a place where I said, I love them and I appreciate them because their support is needed, but I need clients. I need people who are willing to invest in changing their mindset, who are, interested in investing in my books and the resources that I create. And so when I saw you post about adding the human design element to it, that was it for me, because I know what the human design reading did for me. It was, oh my gosh, it changed my life. It literally changed my life. And I shared with you how sometimes I'll sit in front of my mirror and play the human design reading, because there's just something about hearing that interpretation of my chart and seeing my face. And so those things in conjunction put me in a place where I realized that it didn't matter about the algorithms. It didn't matter what the social media platforms were doing. I needed to add more value to what I was providing to my audience. And so once I, took my time, because I realized, especially now that I'm actually a part of the Elevate method, that the only thing that is stopping me now is me being in my own way, because everything you do, everything you explain, everything you teach literally answers the questions that I've always had in my mind about how to properly run a coaching practice. So that's where I was, and that's where I am.
Oh, I love that. So Erica was actually one of the very first people I ever did a human design reading for. I had just gotten certified and she's like, oh, I want one. Like, I want to see it. Like, I want to see what it's like. And I remember being so nervous, but like I said, I've been with Erica for a while. So I adore her. And I'm like, I trust her. Like, she'll give me feedback, whatever. And I did it. And she was so like, she felt so validated. She just wrote me back like, oh my goodness, this is like mind blowing. So that's when I was like, okay, I knew it was mind blowing for me, but now to see somebody else say that, I really started to dig my heels in, and I actually got 2 times certified in it, and then decided to bring it over here. And so because I knew like I could teach all these mindset tools, but I also need to teach you to be in line with your design, right? Because in a lot of ways, these businesses, they teach you this one size fits all model for success. And I've recognized that we're not designed to operate that way, to create that way. And so I wanted to give my clients permission to really be themselves. And so I just thank you, Erica, because your journey has helped me feel validated enough to start bringing these things over. And it just came full picture because of you being vulnerable and you sharing like, oh, I look in the mirror and I play the reading and this is what I feel. And I'm like, okay, so this works. This matters. So, and I'm just so grateful for your growth through it all too, because I've watched the like frustration with the posting. And now as you lean more into like what feels aligned, what feels good, and you just have like such a more aligned and intentional blend in the way that you show up, which I just think is so amazing too.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Alexis, you next.
All right. So I had this, always say, this Holy Spirit speaks to me. I ask and I receive. And when I got the idea, I wrote it down. And this was back in 2019. And I actually decided to start the business in 2020. And got to the point where the pandemic hit and I kind of had to take a pause. And I was actually kind of grateful once I realized I needed to pause, because and as Miss Erica was saying, there was a certain level that I felt like I needed to be certified, credentialed to provide the services that I was really looking to provide. And I couldn't find anything that fit that. And so I went on a kind of like a search, and I was looking for programs, certain certifications that dealt with the mindset, that dealt with understanding, human behavior and things like that. And one thing I didn't mention was that, I'm a nurse and I've worked in the mental health fields. I've worked with special needs. I've worked with behavioral health. And there was a certain level of understanding that I already had. I wanted to add to it. And I couldn't figure out how to do that. And one thing I can say is that, Nicole, I followed you for so long. And when I realized, first of all, when I realized that you were doing coaching, which was, I think in 2017, when I first noticed it, I was like, wow, I think that's something I want to do one day. Like, you know, and I'm just going to, you know, I want to watch. And I thought it was awesome, first of all, because of our history, you know, with you having had been a counselor for my girls. And I just know you were such a beautiful soul. And I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna watch and see what she does. Yeah. So that grew on me. You know, that was before I started my business. You started coaching, and I just kept watching you evolve. And I'm just like, okay, I'm excited about this. I'm gonna have to get with her with one of these programs. And I think that you started talking about the book boot camp. And I had inquired about that, and I wasn't in a position to get in it the way I wanted to in the time. And I honestly think that there was a mindset block there. But I just, you know, I persisted with following you. And, you know, I think that what I was waiting for was the alignment. And so fast forward to now and understanding, really having more clarity on what it is I want to do and what my purpose is to do, you know, coupled with my passion, coupled with my pain. Everything that the Elevate method offers is like right in alignment. And, you know, us coming into contact with the new program and the way that you did couldn't have been any more on time than what it was, because in my mind, I was like, I'm ready. I'm ready to invest. I'm ready to go. Like, this is on me heavy. I know that this is something I'm supposed to do. And the longer that I don't do it, the more not at peace that I feel with myself. I got to move, and I got to move on this now. There's no time to wait. So where I was figuring things out. Like, I had took a few steps. It was like, okay, let me hold off for a minute. You know, I was even using my workplace certifications. I work for Ohio Health, and they have like different things for, you know, mindfulness and things like that. And they're good. They're nice programs, but it's just, you know, didn't feel aligned. So, you know, where I'm at now, I have so much clarity. I know I'm where I'm supposed to be. I know I'm in alignment. I know that with the Elevate method, the way that I want to execute my program is going to be everything it needs to be to change the people's lives that I'm set out to change.
Oh my goodness. And it's so crazy that you say that, because like within, and you guys can speak to this, but like within, I think it was like a week or two of you joining, you had already started mapping out your course, and you're like putting it in the group and like, what do y'all think about this? And look at this picture. And like, it was like instant. It was like instant, like I'm in it and I'm ready to take action. And it's so crazy because you said it exactly right. There's two things that come up for any coaches that are watching this. One, you never know when someone's watching you, because I didn't know that you had been watching me until you reached out to me about the book writing boot camp maybe a year ago, but I didn't know you started watching me, you know, all those years ago. So keep showing up, because you never know when someone's watching. The second thing that you said is alignment and timing. So when Alexis reached out to me, she asked me about it. I told her a little bit about the program. We went back and forth with a couple voice memos. And then I'm a firm believer, like, I don't ever want to make anyone make a decision, like, because I feel like the energy you make a decision in is the energy you carry throughout the entire And so when Alexis was like, you know, I'm feeling this, but I just want to feel it out, I told her, take your time. Here's the information, and you make a decision that feels aligned. And I feel like she's such a perfect example of that aligned decision, because she didn't make it from a place of force. She made it from a place of like, no, I want to be intentional about this. I can't live another day putting my dreams off. And then she showed up and showed out the moment she joined. Like, there was no ifs, ands, buts about it. Like, she showed up. And like, that's why, honestly, you're one of the people that I reached out to about this, because I'm like, I want you to talk about like how you went from those mindset blocks, that place of like, I don't know, I'm not sure, feeling like unsure of yourself, to being like, no, I'm done with it. I read an article maybe about a year ago, and it's by Bronnie Ware. And she actually has a book about it too, but it's the top 5 regrets of the people that are dying. And she interviews people that are on their like last days, and she asks them like, what are your biggest regrets? And there's 5 of them, but number 1 is living a life not in alignment with themselves, but living a life for other people. And I remember reading that and being like, oh, I'm done doing what society says it has to look like. I'm done doing what this needs to look right or whatever. Like, I have to do what's best for me, because I can't be on my deathbed and feel like, dang, well, why did I do that? That wasn't even in alignment for me. And so just you sharing that story just reminded me of it. Like, I don't have another day to do something that doesn't feel in alignment for me. Like, I don't have another day. They say the graveyard is the richest place in the planet, because so many people die with unfulfilled dreams. And I vow to myself that won't be me. And I vow to myself that people, as they come through this program, they won't be that either. Like, this is why I give those tools and these strategies and this level of support in the way that I do. Okay, so then that leads me to my next question. You guys are awesome. And these are like, I like am almost to tears, because these are things like I didn't know. Like, Germany's talking about like the way she researched me, and Erica's validating me with like the way this human design reading like changed her life. And Alexis is like, she's been following and watching and was motivated by it. And these are things that I didn't even know. I just kept feeling that tug where I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it, even if no one's liking, even if no one's paying attention. I just feel called to it. And that's just so validating. So I'm so grateful. But my next question is, once you joined the program, what was your initial thought as you saw everything included? And then what has your experience been like so far in the program? You can share a win, you can share maybe your initial thoughts or like whatever. But yeah, we'll start with Germany.
Okay, first thought, I went through everything, and I'm gonna screw this word up, but the Ho'oponopono, how do you say that?
Oh my God.
Ho'oponopono.
Yes, thank you. Like, as soon as you ask me, I know it. I say it in the recording, but it jacked me up. Yes.
It's tough, and it's just as tough to spell it too.
Oh my gosh. Every time I have to Google it when I'm trying to spell it.
So when I went through everything, when I saw the Ho'oponopono, I was like, yep, that's it. I put everything down. I was like, this is for me, because I literally did not hear anybody else say anything about that term, about that concept, but one other place. And there was another book that I was reading. I think it was called The Calling by Ra Goddess. I was reading that book and basically trying to get in line, and she mentioned the Ho'oponopono. So I was like, yeah, this is for me. And as I started to go through all of the things, it started to speak even more to me, because I'm the type of person that needs to be held by the hand when I'm learning something new, because I want to be able to just soak in all of the knowledge. I want to be able to soak in everything and ask all the questions that I need to be able to ask. I need that certain type of foundation. I need for the person to know what they are doing so that they can teach me the way I need to be taught, and so that I can teach, or so that I can show up for my business the way that and feel confident about that. So looking through everything that she has, first of all, I was like, this is why it costs, like, wait, like, this is why it costs. This is a lot. And it's a lot of information. It's a lot of information, especially when for me, when I, trying to level up from where I was and to be at in a new space. It was very challenging to see so much and almost overwhelming, because it was like, oh my God, I got so much to learn. And you know what I did? I was just like, I'm about to dedicate myself to this. This is my focus. This is my number one. Like, all other things are just kind of like pushed aside for the moment until I get this done, until I like actually, embody every single thing that I need to embody. And I'm also the type of person that once I'm learning something, I like to go full force, like writing things down in a journal. I want to I want to reflect. I want to do all of the different things to help me to reach my fullest potential, because my goal in life is to master self. It always has been my goal in life is to master myself. And so in her program, she has a lot of different things. And the one thing that I still find myself going to, even still today, even though I'm going through the actual Elevate method, I still find myself going to the part of her program that talks about habits. I have been trying to change habits for 3 years now, and trying to incorporate like certain things into my life. I've read The Compound Effect. I've read so many different books on personal development that, talks about habits. So when the way she has habits in her program, worksheets, I have the actual ability to sit down and figure out, get real with myself, reflect with myself. What am I doing? and what can I change, and how can I incorporate that? How can I stack this habit on top of this, something else that I already do, so that I can, be successful and so that it can change. And once I realized that I can actually do this, I can actually change these habits just from sitting here and reflecting and getting it all out, I was like, this is working. Like, this is working for me. I'm actually incorporating daily power hours. I've incorporated meditation. I've incorporated, we haven't talked about this yet, but EFT, emotional freedom techniques. I have incorporated that into my life. I've incorporated basically, I'm just a new person, because of, her program and seeing all of those things. So after, and the modules, the Elevate method, like actually going through those, is a whole bunch of pre-study. And the pre-study, I downloaded all of the manuals and everything, and I basically was just, when I say locked in, they can tell you I was locked in. I kept coming to her inbox. I was like, oh my God, look, I'm learning this. I'm already done. I'm about to go through for a second time. I literally just inboxed her and told her I'm going through for a third time, because like it's it's a lot, but it's so for me, I love to learn. I love to learn. So I keep on going through it until I get it. And now I'm in a stage of practicing all of the modalities and all of the different things that she has included in the Elevate method. So that's exciting. I'm so excited about this, because I know for sure, just like you said, Alexis, I know for sure that this is going to help the people that are in my community, that are around me, and I like, they don't even know what's about to hit them.
Oh, I love it. I love it, because you really have, you locked yourself in. And one of the things, this is great, because like the feedback I got from Germany was like, how do I structure and how do I move through this? And so I've even created trainings that walk you through the best way to move through the program to take away the overwhelm of what's included. But a lot of the reason I include things like Ho'oponopono and habit hacking and things like that is because I know that I can teach you all the things about the certification, but if your life isn't aligned with it, that's just going to be surface level things. So like, how do I teach you to build a habit around, or a routine around having time to even go through this certification? How do I teach you to forgive people? Because I know that unforgiveness will block you from being able to step into that next level. So I added those things that help. And I love, she reached out to me the other day and she was like, it's like every time I think I have a question, you answer the question in the next module or the next thing. And she's like, it's like almost like and Erica said the same thing. You guys reached out to me like within an hour, and you both said the same thing. And I'm cracking up, because it's like our brains must work the same way. Because as I was going through it, I'm like, okay, what would somebody ask here? How can I do that? And so there's pieces to it where I've even recently, and I didn't tell you guys yet, but I just added a technique reference sheet. So if someone is coming to you with a limiting belief or a block, oh, this is a modality you can use. If someone is coming to you with a heavy emotion, this is what you can use. So I'm constantly updating this program based on feedback and then things that come up for me. And so it's been beautiful to watch, because you do love learning, and you're like, I'm locking myself in today. I'm a couple hours in. And even as a mom of three and a girlfriend and a busy woman, like with a job, she's still finding time to build this program, build time in to do this program, which I really, really admire. All right, Erica.
Yes. Can you repeat the question for me, please?
I sure can. I got to remember what I asked too. So what was your experience like so far in the program? And then what did you think once you joined and like seeing everything that was included?
So when I first joined, it was, I don't even know what word to use to describe it, but seeing the consistency in how like you formulate your coaching programs and the curriculum, because I mean, it's like real life curriculum. Like you're not just, learning something and, it's just like information there. Like it's very thorough. And that's what I love about it. And it keeps me engaged. There's just so many different facets of information, whether it's like an audio or an ebook to download. And so as I've just kind of been going through, and honestly, I don't even feel like, I feel like I've only like touch the tip of the iceberg as it relates to the information that you have available, because I've just been trying to kind of digest, what I had before. So, and that's what I love about how you create your programs. Like you said, like you have created something to help us to understand how to move through it so that it's not so overwhelming. Because I know for me, I love to learn too, but if I have too much information, it paralyzes me. So it's really helpful to have, those guides and that information to help move through the program. And so, as I said earlier, and it's a reality that I have come to be honest with myself about. And that is that if I don't get this done, it's because I was in my own way. And that is what I love about what you do. Like, it's like you have to be committed and dedicated. That's just life in general. It's like anything that you really want, you have to be committed and dedicated in order to meet that goal. And so I love how this isn't just teaching me something that's going to help me to build a better business, but it's taking me through a path of personal development that's making me a better woman. So where you have these things that help us to assess our habits, because that's been like really big since I started the program. And I think I'm just a month in. I'm looking at my schedule every week and I'm like, you didn't touch it on this day. You didn't touch it on this day. You're paying money. Like, what are you going to do about it? And it's really making me like reassess how I'm spending my time. I literally, like last night, and it's going to make me emotional, but it just is what it is. I decided to give up one of my side hustles so that I can focus more on this. And it was like, I think it was yesterday morning when I woke up, and we had talked like Friday night, we had kind of been going back and forth and just talking about some different things. And I did a meditation before I went to sleep. And when I woke up, the Holy Spirit told me that you can't attract if you're chasing. I'm just done. Stick a fork in me, because I just really just had to take a step back and say, you've learned to invest in yourself. You've learned to value investing in yourself, and you've taken this chance to, join this program, but you're not as committed as you can be. And you need to let go of chasing things so that, and it's so crazy because this morning I went to, and I need to stop saying that. It's not crazy, it's alignment. And that's, I think, the most important thing to recognize when you choose this program. When you're aligned, yes, you're going to attract, but you still have to make the choice. And that was what I had to come to terms with. I attracted it and I made the choice to join, but now I have to remain committed to the process. So this personal development that's taking place in the midst of this is something that like I said, I know is going to make me a better woman and is going to help me to build a successful business. So thank you.
Oh my goodness. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, you hit the nail on the head, because I'm like, the transformation isn't just like that you come out certified. The transformation is what takes place in yourself. And you said something so powerful. I literally was just talking to one of my clients about this. And I said, the magic isn't in the decision. The magic is in the recommitment, because you can make the decision all day. I want to start this business. I want to invest in this program. But the magic is when you recommit to it. You recommit when it makes no sense. You recommit when it's hard. You recommit when you're questioning. That recommitment is where it's powerful. And you just recommitted. Like, you made the decision to join, but then you recommitted to, okay, how can I show up for it? Because I am investing my time and my energy and my money into this, or I want to. How can I recommit to this again and again and again? Which really, that's where the real magic takes place. So thank you for being so vulnerable. I know that was hard, but you like stick the fork in me, because I'm done. Because I was like, whoa, after me and Alexis at the same time, we're in rapport. I know we were both doing the same thing. And I'm just like, it's just, oh my goodness, so powerful. And you hadn't even shared that with me. So thank you so much for sharing that, because that's powerful. All right, Alexis. Do you remember the question? I can repeat it if not.
Yes, the question was, how do we feel once we joined it, and then once we were in the program, and based on what we were seeing, how we felt. So initially I joined the program, and I'll be honest, I thought to myself, I'll be able to do this at my own pace, and I'll be able to, you know, hop in whenever I can. I'll say it like that, whenever I can. And, you know, I too, piggyback off of Jermaine, have indulged in a plethora of self-development literature as much as I possibly can. Like, I became obsessed with self-development, self-reflection. I mean, everything, self-awareness. I mean, I'm aware, but I am always open to becoming more and more aware in any way that it fits. And so I am aware of the habits that I need to adopt to be able to commit the proper time that is needed to get this program done, and, you know, get out of it what I need out of it so that I can get ready to start executing. Because, you know, I believe in the saying, start before you're ready. And, you know, I feel like I'm not ready, but I also feel like I ain't got time to be waiting until I'm ready either. Like, you know what I mean? So, and I'm so thankful for what you shared, Erica. It really touched my heart because I found myself in where I had already felt I needed to shift some things around in home life, as far as employment, as far as, you know, chasing certain things. And I'm like, okay, it's time to shift some things because this is my purpose. You know what I mean? And at this point, above all else, really, I mean, this is priority. You know, obviously family life is, you know, my spiritual life is priority, but this right here is my baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? And at this point, my baby has leapt. You know what I mean? My baby's leapt, and I'm, you know, so I'm at the point where it's like, wow, okay, this seems like it is perfect, and I'm going to get it done, and it's going to be a smooth process. And not that it's not going to be a smooth process, but I realized I'm going to have to be, if I thought I was intentional before I got into this program, I'm going to have to magnify that times 20. And what I've come to realize is, it's like I'm held accountable, and you ain't even live. You know what I mean? You're not even live. But what's so funny is I'll have a thought to myself, right? And I'll say these things to myself, and I might even post about it. And then I'll go in to a video, and then I'll hear you say, and it's like, see.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I just appreciate that because, you know, I am a systematic and ritualistic type of person when I know I need to work towards something. And I do have to have things set out and lined up in a certain specific way in order for me to feel successful and feel accomplished. And I've just recently learned to celebrate those small goals because they are motivating, and to celebrate those small wins. And, you know, I recently did that, and I can't tell you what it's done for, you know, my encouragement to myself. Like, you know, okay, all right, let's keep going. Like, okay, we got this, you know, let's keep going. And I'm at the point now where, you know, unrealistically, like, this is all I want to do all day long. So I'm now feeling like, okay, you know, this right here is going to propel me exactly where I need to be. And I don't have to feel like it has to be done in a specific way. I have to make sure I understand how to make it feel good to me and natural to me and work for me based on what I have going on in my life and based on how I have things lined up. The program is in alignment. Now I have to get myself personally in alignment with what it's going to take to get the information in, and also be able to put it out the way it needs to be put out and make the difference that I'm looking to make. I just want to add this real quick. In figuring out what I needed to do, I ordered this book and I want to share it. This right here.
That's my journal. Yeah. Oh, I love it. That's my journal. Yes.
Listen, I'm gonna order about 4 or 5 more of these. I mean, it lines things up, and then I go back and look at, okay, you wrote this down, you need to do this. Okay, you need, you know what? Okay, let's write down what you didn't do, and let's make sure we keep going towards that thing and get it crossed off. Okay, like, yeah, I have to have conversations with myself, but I just appreciate it because it's very dense, but it's dense in a way that it's very strategically laid out. And I'm very appreciative for the detail, you know, for the time that you have taken to really consider the learner because what I notice is I'll go through and then there'll be just a video. Then I'll go through it and there'll be actual, written information. And then I'll go through and there'll be written information in the video. Then I'll go catch a video that also has illustration with the audio or with the video. And what I realize is that, okay, I'm getting this all different ways. I'm finding myself, like, I'll watch a video and be like, hold on, wait a minute, let me play that over again and take notes. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Then I'll see I have stuff to print out, girl. Right now I have a plan to go and print out every little bitty thing. I'm gonna get me a big old binder, and I'm gonna have it all in a binder. And because that's what I realize is that you have material available for all the different ways that you can learn. And what I realize is that I am one of those people who I do like to hear, but I also like the video, and I also like, the written work. And so the fact that I can reinforce all the information with the video, with the audio, also being able to write it down, and then I can have it available to go back over it.
Yes.
I don't know what else to say other than thank you for your gift, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful.
So grateful for you, because like you really are. And I feel like Alexis is such a perfect example. Like, what is there, 8 or 9 kids in total in your blended family? 8? 9. Okay, I knew 8 or 9. So as a mom of 9, I mean, working, like trying. So when you talk about somebody dedicating themselves and showing up for their vision, she's a perfect example of that, because she has every excuse and reason to put herself, to distract herself in other ways. The other day, it's so funny. So Alexis lives local to me, and I actually ran into her in person, and we had just gotten off a call and we were talking about it. So like, even her, she's sitting at a rec center with her kids and on a call trying to learn. So she has learned how to make the most out of every single moment of her day. And I just think that that's so powerful. And the fact that you're willing to like challenge yourself to that, I just think is so amazing. And I love that you added like the little journal to be able to move through it. But I know Germany has a binder of like all the things loaded together, because there's a lot, but that I was really intentional about taking every learning style into consideration. In fact, one of the things I talk about with human design is learning styles. I actually talk about that in one of the NLP modules now too. I added that in, where you can see if you're visual, auditory, digital, auditory, kinesthetic, like what are the different things, and really like leaning into that. So I'm trying to be and continuing to grow, to be strategic about the way I'm teaching this information. So with timing, I'm going to do 2 more questions if you guys are okay with it. I'd love to ask, because one of the things that I did when I built out the Elevate method is I built it on a pillar system, and the pillars are the coaching, the community, and the certification. And what I mean by that is Germany talked about this a little bit in the beginning, but like she talked about how she joined a certification program that had things, but it was just like kind of a certification and it didn't really feel aligned. And I myself did that. I have 2, maybe 3 that I did from like a Facebook ad I found, or, whatever. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to ensure I didn't become a certification factory. I'm like, oh, you get a certification, you get a certification, the Oprah of certification factories. I wanted to make it a comprehensive container for coaches. So with the Elevate method, we have the coaching, meaning that I'm coaching you through it. We have these monthly calls, we have modality practices, Q&A calls, and the like. You're getting your certification, but then we also build a community. So I'd love if you guys could speak to, and you can pick one or the other, but I'd love if you could either speak to like the support that comes like in the community and the coaching calls, or if you want to speak specifically to, well, I guess technically you already spoke to the module. So yeah, if you want to talk to like the support calls that we have or the community, I'd love if you guys can just share your perspective about that. And anything else you think people can know about those 3 areas. So we'll start with you, Jeannie.
Okay, I really appreciate the support. I'm going to tackle the support because I'm the type of person that needs that type of support. Like I said earlier, I need my hand held. And I didn't expect for there to be like modality calls. I kind of expected there to be a Facebook group because you can kind of like, it just kind of goes along with it. So I wanted to use the Facebook group as best as possible. And she even encouraged me, if you have a question, take it over to the group. And that's what I did. I took it over to the group, and every single time I took it over to the group, I kid you not, Miss Nicolia, Dr. Nicolia, she actually responded and she was giving feedback. And that's what I really, really, really love about her, is that she is available for questions. She's available to tackle things that you aren't really like sure about. And she's able to like help you navigate through that. So that support there was amazing. And that's what actually keeps me like in tune and invested in it and recommitting to it. And as far as like the modalities that we are learning, as extensive as it is and as challenging as it is, I really appreciate the modality calls, because me and Alexis just did a modality call together. We did rapport. And I was already, mind you, I had already did a couple practices already with my sisters. I haven't sent the videos yet, but I had already did a couple, and I didn't know what to do. I was sitting in here like flipping through my stuff like, okay, how do I do this? Reading through the example. She tells you exactly what to do, but for some reason I couldn't like picture how to do it because I didn't see the example. I'm a person that's a visual person, so I need to see the example done, and then I'll be able to do it. And so when we did the modality call, it was completely different from the way that I pictured it. I didn't picture it that way. I pictured it something else. So I'm not going to even send my video in. Like, it's like, it wasn't even the same thing. But with the modality call, it helped so much because I felt like that I was actually good at this. Like, I'm actually doing what I've been learning to do, and it's actually sticking. And one of the things that she teaches you, that you like, most of our learning when it comes to like incorporating things, practicing it is going to be the majority of the way that you learn how to, do all of these things. So she is true to her word when she says that. If she says that practice is, going to be the main way that you're going to learn these things, she made sure that she incorporated practice with the support in the Facebook group, in the modality calls. I think I have modality calls scheduled up until January, and I'm ready to jump on each one of them. We have 14 videos to make, and I'm ready, so I appreciate the support. I also appreciate Siobhan. I know she's not like on here right now, but she helps Dr. Nicolia with those modality calls and with the support in the group. And that is also super, super helpful. And it's helpful that we get to actually practice with one another, and we get to like share our experiences and ask the questions with each other and like share what we go through. It kind of feels like I have my own community of people that kind of understands me. And I can't really talk about it to my boyfriend or like other people because it's like they don't really know what I'm going through right now. But it's like with the support of y'all, I'm like, I can just tell y'all everything because y'all know.
Oh, I love that so much. So they did their modality call earlier this week, and I got to watch it. Siobhan is a trainer that supports me as like an assistant. She's amazing. And I got to watch it, and it was just so beautiful to see like how they really do know what they're doing. And I think that's the best part, is that like Germany said, you practice it so that when you actually show up for your clients, you're confident in what you're showing up with. You know what it is that you have to offer your clients. So thank you so much for speaking on that. Taisha just jumped on really quick. She had something she was doing this morning, but I want to give her a quick second before we run to Erica with that question. And just introduce yourself, Taisha, and then I'll have you go after Alexis. And we're just talking about the support that takes place inside the community of the Elevate Method. So if you want to introduce yourself, and then I'll have you go after Erica for that second question.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Nicolia, for this opportunity. Hello, everyone. I am Taisha Cannon. Hi. And I started my ministry this year. I made it official, She Sacred Ministries. And it's just a ministry that just means she's set apart for the work of deity. And so basically purpose. And I was like, what can make me stand out, in ministry? Because I didn't just want it to be ministry bound. I wanted to bring practical services and enhancements to the ministry just so I could reach more people, and not just, church people and all of that. And so when Dr. Nicolia came out with this Elevate method, it was just like everything. So I jumped on it when I could. I was like, yes. And I have, like, I'm finishing my book. Oh my God, I'm at the end of my book, which Dr. Nicolia helped me out with that too. So I'm at the end of my book, you guys. It comes out the first quarter of next year. And oh my God, like, it's so amazing. And that's why I haven't been able to dive into the program like I want. But I did want to get on here. I did take a look through the program. And when we had our first call, our initiation call, like, it was just so amazing because Dr. Nicolia gave me ideals of, I was like, oh my God, where can I put my office? You know, like, and she said, girl, a little corner, put a plant in a canvas, kind of like Erica. Yep, you doing it like Erica. Yes, I'm feeling the vibe. Like, that's gonna be my little corner office.
Yes,
And
yes.
she was like, have your virtual sessions. And y'all, nobody that I know, I live in St. Louis, nobody that I know is offering coaching. Oh, you stay in St. Louis too, Jermaine? Oh my
I
God.
do.
Oh
Awesome.
my God. Awesome. So it's me and you
It's
together.
me.
So nobody else other than me, nobody else in St. Louis is offering these type of services. And we will stand out because there's a lot of people claiming to be a coach, but what Dr. Nicolia brought just changed the whole game up. And with me going to school for human psychology, you know, just to go into therapy, my goal is to bring my coaching clients into my therapy as well once I graduate. So it's a whole, yeah, I'm very intentional about this. And I'll be launching my coaching piece of it next year. But I wanted to make sure I knew what I was talking about. I wanted to make sure our coach is confident that I can go ahead and go. I didn't want to just dive into it like, oh, as I go through my classes, you know, knowing that I haven't put the time in because of my book. So, yep, now that I'm at the end of my book, I told Dr. Nicolia, next week I'll be able to dive in. The children are on break, and yeah, I'm so excited. I have a couple of people that's willing to go, like, let me practice with them. I have a mentee. She was like, yeah, I need that because I've been dealing with trauma from an accident and all of that. And she went through a very, very traumatic experience with that. And so she was like, I need that. I don't want to pay, you know, no one else. I trust you. I trust you. And I was like, wow. And even my husband, yeah, my children, they have not been the same since the pandemic. I have 4 children. And my oldest is going through therapy. And I'm like, God, this is actually developing me as well as who I'm called to. So you're literally giving me the tools to help my family. And that's what he has me here. Like, this is like real personal for me, you know. So I'm really grateful for this, Dr. Nicolia. This Elevate method is everything. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Guys, if you don't follow Taisha Cannon, you need to check her out. If there's one thing that I can say about her, she has a heart for people and really cares about people. I'm really excited. I think next week I'll be on her Clubhouse talk. And I'm just excited because the people she connects with and the people that she brings in are people that are hurting, but she has such a like passion and desire to heal. And I love what her desire to like bring therapy and coaching together, but to do it in a authentic way. Because like she mentioned, there's a lot of people who are saying that they're coaches with really great intentions, but don't have the tools to make that transformation, to make that shift. And I know when Taisha came to me, one of the things we did was a hypnotherapy session. She was like, I don't know how to feel about this. This kind of goes against like my religion and you know, all these negative, like all the things that we hear that's bad about hypnotherapy. But she said something that really spoke to me. And she was like, I trust you. Like, she's like, I don't know why. She's like, I just feel drawn to you and I really trust you. And I was able to really facilitate that for her. And I think that was like that thing that was like, okay, like this is like her heart is pure, like this is the right thing, this feels aligned. And she's then taken the next step to be able to start to weave these different modalities into the work that she does as a coach and eventually a therapist as well, a counselor or a therapist as well. And I'm just so grateful that you're here. So Really quick, what we're talking about, it'll be Erica, Alexis, and then you. And you kind of already spoke to it. So if you have something else to add, you can at the end. But the final question, well, we have one actual final question after this. But the question for Erica and Alexis and Taisha, if you want to add something, is just speaking to those three pillars. So the coaching, the community, or the certification. So whatever you feel led to speak to, it could be the support, it could be the community, it could be both, whatever. How are you feeling about that part of the Elevate method specifically? I'd love to hear Erica.
Yeah, so my favorite part is the support calls. After, I think it was last Sunday, we did a Q&A, and just the amount of information that we exchange because of the questions that are asked, like, it just blows my mind. And, you know, similar to what Jermaine was saying, like, I need my hand held. And it's interesting because as a leader, as a Leo, as a person who generally just kind of, you know, is headstrong and has my stuff together, I've had to be honest with myself about, you know, the level of support that I've needed in going through this program. And so being accessible, you know, to ask questions, even being able to post in the group, which I haven't done a lot of, but seeing the other ladies and the questions that they post, and even the things that you post. I mean, just in the last few days, you've posted things that have really, really resonated with me and have sparked thought processes that have, you know, ultimately resulted in what I've talked about, you know, with the other questions where I've had to reassess, you know, whether I'm chasing or attracting, or, you know, if I'm doing the things that align with me being able to build my business effectively. And so being able to have access to those coaching or the Q&As, those are like, that's like really big for me, because that opportunity to ask those questions is like a huge deal. But like I said, the information that we get is top notch, just like the information that we get within the course. So
I love that you said that, because one of the things that I tell everyone is, like, even if you don't think you have a question, come to the Q&A call, pay attention to what people are posting, because that can teach you something that you didn't even think to ask a question about, or that may trigger another question. I think it was Taisha and I think Germany, we did a Q&A call too, like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. And I remember Germany was asking questions, and then Taisha would piggyback and say, like, oh, I think I have another question about this. And it was just like this constant piggyback, because it's almost like we're learning from each other. And then even questions that you guys ask forces me to grow as a coach, to think of like, oh my gosh, what else could I be teaching them? What else could I share? And so when Erica was mentioning like me, things that I post in the group, like I'm constantly staying active in the group. Siobhan, my assistant, she's amazing. And then myself, we stay active in the group to constantly bring information, to share things with you guys as well. Because I think that that's so important and so valuable, to really keep that community feel to it as well. So thank you for that perspective, Erica. That's great feedback for me. Absolutely. All right, Alexis.
So all the areas of support are definitely something that keeps me drawn, and keeps me forever grateful, honestly, because it's the ways that you show up. And, you know, you're showing up through the group. You're showing up also on your own personal page. So even though, you know, you're speaking to more prospective clients, you're still speaking to us, so, and then like, you know, with the modality practice call, I'm gonna be honest, I don't even think I knew what it was for, but I just knew that I needed to be on it. And once I got on it, it was like, oh, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make sure I try to get on every last one of these right here. Okay. We did a Q&A call as well. And I think that I got on there and I thought I was prepared for questions. And I think that I just might have been a little, you know, I paused to really process how available you were. And I literally had to think to myself, like, okay, do you have questions or do you not have questions? And, you know, I just think that it was just unexpected to really receive, you know, such availability. I think that, you know, with people that I've come into contact with, my own experiences that have, you know, these programs and they're high level programs, you know, there's a ticket price to every bit of access that you would want and need to people like that. And, you know, I think that for me, understanding that I don't have to pay $100 to get on the phone call with you, or that I can DM you and you'll respond. And I mean, your response is immaculate. Okay. Let me just say that immaculate. I generally will send you a message and think to myself, you know, be okay with it if she doesn't respond until tomorrow. And that's never the case. Never.
Right.
So to have that level of access and response together in all those different ways is phenomenal. Not to mention, like Germany said, Siobhan, she's a gem. She's awesome. I've had one contact with her, but she's a gem. I just love her spirit. Yeah, I love her spirit. I've also seen her sometimes hop in and help out with some of the comments or questions that are, you know, made in a group, and she'll hop in there, you know, and then there's just all the encouragement, you know, having a community of people who are like-minded, working towards the same goal, and we're all in alignment. We know we are all in alignment with the group. I mean, that is one way that you really can thrive in a program and really, really tap into, you know, what you're actually set out to do and do it effectively. Why? Because you have that support. You have those other eyes. You have those other minds. And you can be open and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What do y'all think? And then you have all this feedback, not just from your coach, but from people who have minds like you, but who might have different experiences and different things to add to your experience or your thought or your process. And then you can say, wow, you know, I'm just thankful because you just know you have a community of genuine people who we all want to see each other win. We all are trying to work towards the same thing. And there's just so much genuineness and so much purity and intention in the group. There's so many words. I can't even really get them all out right now in what I'm saying, but it is everything. It is everything. It is.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. I worked really hard to try to create this community of like-minded people, because I know when you're moving towards your vision, it can feel very isolating. It can feel, people can think you're crazy. You don't even feel like it makes a lot of sense sometimes. And so just having people that are there to encourage you and hold you accountable to it, I think is so valuable. I know it was valuable for me on the journey, and that's why I've created that community intentionally. Taisha, was there anything that you wanted to add to the support or the community or anything like that feel? And then we can kind of wrap it up with the last question.
Yeah, so I am grateful for the community. I remember when I first got on and I had like a question that I thought was like a stupid question. And you were just like, there are no dumb questions. Like, I promise you, somebody else might be thinking the same thing. So go ahead and ask within the group. And I was still kind of shy and bashful. And you put it out there because someone else brought it to your attention or something like that. And you were like, I told you, you're not the only one thinking like that. And I'm like, okay. And I'm just really grateful for this because Dr. Nicole, you are a pure, you know, doctor, and oh my God, you wear so many hats, and just the purity is like, that's what you attract. And I am grateful to be a part of the foundation of this business. Like down the road, man, like people don't even understand, but you know, I just know that this is going to really, really grow and get out there. And we can say, I'm sorry, I'm at church, so I'm feeling God right now, and I'm trying not to get into this little preachy mode, but I have to say this. I feel God on this, so I'm controlling myself. This is going to really, really get out there, Dr. Nicolia, because you are a secret, but you're not going to be a secret for long. You're going to get out there through us and through the people that comes in. And I heard another doctor say, healed people heal people. And to know that you're a part of that, well-rounded, like I look up to you, you know what I mean? Like I found what I can be, and we're the same age, and I'm like, I found what I can be. Like it does not matter about age, like it's about maturity and growth, and I see it within you. So I thank you so much. Oh my God, when I was praying for a book writing coach, boom, you popped up on my Facebook page. When I was like, I want to be a certified coach, boom, you popped up on my Facebook page. So I'm just convinced God is like, okay, this is your career coach. You know, this is your purpose coach. So thank you so much. And I thank God for the community. You women are wonderful. Just listening to you all, like, I know we're going to thrive together. And we have this, kisses to you all too. We have this community for a lifetime. So that's what I love. Like, it's no limit. Dr. Nicole, you get back with us. Like, I can send you a voice message, and I be preparing myself too. I'm like, Dr. Natolia busy. Like, she whole doctor. She busy. No, you will get back to me, and you will apologize for not getting back to me within like 20, 30 minutes or however long. And I'm like, what? You have clients. I know you're busy. But it's special when you could be a part of the foundation. So thank you for letting me be a part of this foundation. And I am done.
Oh, I receive it. You're so welcome. It's such a privilege to work with you guys. Like, I don't take it lightly to be able to work with you guys. Like, you all have been called to something so much greater, and to be able to like lock arms and to be on this journey with you is such a privilege and honor. Like, I really mean that. And I'm like over here getting teary-eyed, because I'm like, as you're speaking about the growth, like that's my desire, is to get more people to learn how to master their mindset. Like, because we often get in our own way, and these are why I'm so passionate. This is why I'm so passionate about these tools. And so just thank you. I receive everything that you said, Taisha. Oh my gosh. So my final question for each of you guys, and we'll go in the same order. We'll go Germany, Erica, Alexis, and Taisha. My final question for you guys is, what would be something that you would tell someone that's maybe on the fence about joining the Elevate method? A word of encouragement, a thought, whatever. So I'd love to know, and we'll start with you, Germany.
There's no greater time than now. There's never a greater time than right now, because if you wait tomorrow, we don't know what tomorrow brings. So do what you can now. And if you're on the fence, because like I was also on the fence, life gets in the way. You have, we have children, we have families, we have money, we have budgets, we have time. Like, there's so many different things that could put you on the fence. There's so many, and all of those things that put you on a fence are just excuses. They are valid. But there's a way to figure it out. And that's what you have heard from all of us. We have all figured out a way to execute what we need to execute, to live out our purpose. And then it comes to you. Miss Dr. Natolia came to all of us. She just reached out, and she didn't personally reach out in our inbox. It was just that we were passionate, and we had a desire to want more. And and her message and her program, it reached us. And because it reached us, and because of the emotion, and because of the feelings, and because of every single thing that we put into what we want for our lives and how we want to be fulfilled, those things are attracted. You are attracted to that. So once that comes to you, don't miss out on that. Hit play. Do what you need to do, and get it done, and use the power of right now to do it, because you don't know what tomorrow brings, and you don't want to live in yesterday, because it's already over. Okay. So with that being said, I'm out of here.
Awesome. Germany, if you want to stay on really quick after we do that question, I'm going to ask you all to just share a place where people can follow and connect with you throughout the next year. So just we'll go through this, and then that'll be the last, not question, but ways people can connect with you, because I think you all are doing powerful things. So thank you. I agree. Where this will.
But I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. Before you go, I did want to say this. I struggled a long time with that question, who am I? That question like always came up. Always, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? This program will help you to figure out who you are. She has a lot of different methods and tools to help you to get to who you are. Human design, figuring out what type of learner you are. She has so many different modalities to help you to get to the bottom, to the core of who you are, to start the foundation. So that's why you need to press play.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Thank you. I do a lot around purpose and alignment, and those things are very, very, very powerful tools. So thank you so much. And where there's a will, you said it. If there's a will, there's a way. So you said it. Thank you. Erica, I love your perspective of like what you would tell someone who's maybe on the fence about wanting to join this program, and what you would tell them.
Listen, if you were on the fence about whether or not you should join the program, you should just climb down and reassess your whole life. I say that and then I'm joking, but seriously, what I've learned and what we've talked about and a consistent message throughout this call has been how everybody has felt aligned. And so I truly feel that if you have, whether you have prayed about it or even just been thinking about it, because I know as I have evolved in my faith, I can literally think about something I desire and it come to me. If you have prayed for it or thought about it and this Elevate method has come across your timeline or you've gotten an email about it and it resonates with you, you feel it, that's your sign. That's all you need. You don't need anybody to convince you. You don't need anybody to tell you why. And just as I have been in my journey, I have become more unapologetic, but I've also become, I don't know how to say this without saying a cuss word, but it's less BS for me. It's like, this is what it is and you have to face it. And if this opportunity has come to you, it is what it is. You need to embrace it and move forward with it. And, be intentional about allowing yourself the opportunity to do what's necessary to meet the goals, to be committed to it, to be dedicated to it, because it was not by mistake, period, point blank.
That's so crazy you say that, Erica, because I always say when we pray or we ask for a sign, that is the sign. Like your desires is telling you to look for that sign. You asking for it right there. That's the sign. So you just needed that.
You don't need confirmation for the confirmation.
That's I love that quote. That's perfect. All right, Alexis, your turn.
I would speak to a person who's on the fence and just kind of testify, for myself and just let them know, like everyone has said, and I'm just going to piggyback off of everything. And for me, it's spiritual. And so, you think these things in your mind, and the Bible says, as a person thinks, he is, right? And you just have to affirm yourself that, if you think it, it is. So if this is presented in front of you, you already thought it, you already on the path that you want to be on, and I think that for that person, I would say for myself, I had to understand that sometimes when I think something and I know I want it and it's bigger than me, I fall into the subconscious feeling of, oh, that might be a little too much. So let me back up off of that. However, we have to realize that thing that's telling us to back off, that's natural. But, everything that we do flows through our heart. And if your heart is also there, you've thought it already and it's in your heart, you're supposed to move on that. You're supposed to move on that and just, have that faith and understanding that you are where you're supposed to be and that it's not going to be easy. It's not meant to be easy. Otherwise, everybody would be doing that thing. But, if it's in front of you, you already thought it. You already thought it. And I just, again, that for me, that's biblical. As a man thinks so, he is. He is. You think it first. And I think that's with everything. You think it first, and then, everything that you do, it flows through your heart. So if those two things can match up and it's in front of you and it's like, hey, remember you thought about me. I've been on your mind. This is where you're supposed to be. Just go right on into it. Go into the light. Go into the light.
That's so powerful because our intuition will draw us towards something, but then our ego will convince us that it's somewhere wrong. So trust that your desires are a safe form of guidance. They are showing you what it is that you are being drawn towards, what it is that you want. And you just validated that. So thank you so much, Alexis. Taisha, I'd love for your perspective on what you would say to someone who's on the fence about joining the Elevate Method certification program, what your thoughts would be for them.
Yes. I would just tell someone that's on the fence of joining the Elevate Method that don't be scared by fear. Fear, it comes to scare us. And sometimes we look at our purpose and it just seems so big, but it is bigger than us. It's tied and connected to so many people. And to not make this decision is meaning that we don't make a decision on the people that we're called to. So staying on the fence is really not an option. The word of God says God does not give us the spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. And so we know that fear does not come from us, but as we're working through that, do it afraid, and we say that, and it's a lot of things that I'm doing afraid, but I promise you, like, I've checked off of a lot of things on my list that I never thought that I would have be doing at this time a year ago. And I did it afraid, but I'm no longer doing it afraid. So it eventually goes away, and just make that step. It does, things come to you, like Alexis said, light draws. And so you're drawn to the light. Things will come to you because you desire it. And the Bible does says God will give us the desires of our heart. And so he wants to see us successful. And I would just encourage them, come off the fence. You're too attached to the fence. The fence can't do nothing for you. I need you to come out.
Yeah. Indecision is still a decision. Like, that's still, you still making a decision, being an indecision. I love it though. Like, feel the fear and do it anyways. Like, that's just so powerful. So thank you. And you're right. Like, that the things that you step out and do in fear can get you a lot further in a year than you could have ever been. I spent the last year literally committed 100% to my goals and my vision. And I knew I would feel fear, but there were so many ways that I grew in this year because I refused to allow fear to be the reason I stepped away or did something. Go ahead, Alexis, we can say something. Yeah, go ahead. You're on mute.
So Taisha said something that made me think about something somebody said to me, and I needed to hear it, and it changed. I mean, that phrase changed everything. So this is something that I would say. Being on that fence is indecision, and that's where the enemy lives. And you have to remember the enemy's purpose, and the enemy knows your purpose too. So when you get close to that thing that you know you're supposed to do, and you get in that place of indecision, understand that the enemy lives there. The enemy comes there with fear. Fear is not something that we're supposed to be moving and living in, because God did not make us with fear. So we have to understand that the enemy lives in indecision. You got to make that decision. You have to make that decision. So for that, the enemy lives in decision changed the game for me. Changed it. That was it.
I love that, because this will be the final thing I say. But someone somewhere is waiting on you to do what you're called to do. And when you play small, you sell yourself short and everyone else that you're supposed to impact. So it serves absolutely no one for you to play small. And indecision is the greatest way for you to play small. No one deserves that, including you. So I just want to say thank you to you ladies for being here. I know that like I said earlier, like I could talk about this program all day, but I felt like it was really imperative and important for other people to see, people that are in the trenches, right? People that are doing the work right here, right now, people that are showing up for their vision right here, right now, people who have said yes to that next level, even when it doesn't make sense, even when it's hard, even when it pushes them, even when they're dealing with fear, even when it bends them in ways that they didn't even know they can bend. Like, right, this is what I wanted to show, because I want other people to see what's also available for them. And you guys are setting that standard. You're setting that tone. You're setting that example. So I just am so grateful. Before we get off, I just want to go in order again. We'll start with Germany. Erica, Alexis, Taisha, but I just want to go in order, and I want you guys to share what it is that you're working towards next year, like what people can expect from you over the next year, as well as where people can connect with you. So that could be maybe a program or a one-on-one or a book or whatever. Like, I'd love for you to just share that. So Germany, go ahead.
Hi. So what people can expect from me within a year is March. I am setting a goal for me to actually launch and start my coaching practice. That's something that I have in the works. Also, I plan to have mindfulness workshops started up in my area. And so, like, as I progress, it's going to be more that's going to be piggybacking off that. But my main goal is to, one, finish this program so that I can become certified, so that I can start my coaching practice. And then two is to actually start those workshops to actually help people to become more aligned and be more mindful. Where you can find me at Facebook, I'm at Germination. That is spelled with a J instead of a G. So JERMINATION. And on Instagram, you can find me at Germination_the_brand.
Love it. And I'm so excited to see what this year holds. I know it's going to be phenomenal. All right. You're welcome, Erica.
Yes. So in the next year, my primary goal is to also complete this course so that I can launch my coaching practice. Until then, I will be launching a series of webinars and master classes to share information based on what my experience has been with healing, evolving, and thriving. And you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, pretty much all the social media platforms. Inner Beauty Reigns. That's REIGNS.
Yes, and Erica shared a little bit about some masterclass ideas she has, so please check it out. It's going to be absolutely amazing. All right, Alexis, you're welcome.
All right, I love it. I love it, ladies. I just want to say real quick, congratulations to all of you. I think that all of you are doing phenomenal things. And I'm just so excited, again, to be a part of this community with other people who have big purposes in such big ways and are going to make such big impacts. So I'm just honored. You can find me at A Piece of Mind Enterprises on Instagram and Facebook. And in the next year, I am going to be releasing a series of short ebooks that are to create awareness about the different types of abuse, the different level of abuse, and the different ways that they can affect motherhood and parenting. How they show up in children. And once I finish the program, I will be launching my coaching practice to implement the actual healing that needs to take place in our communities and with our families. But in the meantime, I'm going to be having also webinars and workshops to create awareness. And I think that awareness is so important because if you're not aware of where you will need to heal, then you don't know where to start with your healing process. So I want to create a significant level of awareness. And that way people can become more motivated to heal because, you know, they have the knowledge that maybe they don't they don't have or have the resources available to them or information or even relatable, you know, person who's able to share and willing to be vulnerable, you know, about their journey, my journey, and can say, you know what, I'm willing to really figure out what it is that I need to know so I can heal. So that's what you can look forward to me is that high level of exposure of information to create awareness, and then my coaching practicing following that.
Love it. And Alexis already does like little bits of awareness tips on her Instagram. I love it. So definitely follow her there. And I think you said it, Peace of Mind Enterprises. Did you already say that name?
Yes.
I didn't. Okay, awesome. I'm going to make sure you didn't forget that. So yeah, definitely check her out. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And then Taisha, can you let us know? I know a book is part of it, which I'm really excited about because she's been working on this book maybe for a while. But let us know if anything else is coming up and where people can connect with you and your brand.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry. So yes, thank you. Yes, my name on Facebook is Taisha. And my ministry on Facebook is She's Sacred Ministries. My Instagram is ctaisha_encourages. And in the next year, you will see a book. I'm a part of a book collaboration as well that will come out in September. Yep. And that's going to open up a lot of doors. The person that is doing the book collaboration will be on TV and in magazines and all of that great stuff on billboards. So it'll create exposure. So I'm excited about that as well. You can look for my website that will be launching soon. I was working on it this week with someone. I was like, my people need a home, you know, other than social media. So I'm just trying to drive that traffic to an actual home database. And I also do like healthy whole products through Total Life Change. So you may see just lifestyle videos of me doing that. But yeah, you can follow me as Taisha Cannon on Facebook and see Taisha Encourages on Instagram.
Thank you. I actually get my Total Life Changer stuff from Taisha. She's awesome. I just got some sea moss and it's amazing. You're welcome. It came quick and yeah, I just love the holistic approach that Taisha has. I had no idea about the book the second book that you're working on in September. So congrats. And yeah, make sure you definitely check her out because Taisha's doing amazing things. So all in all, these women are so amazing. I would challenge you and encourage you to check each one out and just follow their journey, because I know that the next year is really going to hold powerful transitions and changes, and their impact is going to be magnificent over the next year. So definitely check them out. I thank you all for those who joined us here live. I saw a couple hearts and loves and thumbs up. If there's any questions you guys have, let me know. Taisha, did you have a question really quick or something you're going to say?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I totally left this out. I plan to launch my coaching practice. That's the whole reason why we're on here. I plan to launch my coaching practice in a year. So thank you. I had to say
You named like 10 things. So you probably, it makes sense. Like you got a lot of things coming up. So it makes sense. But yeah, so follow her for that too. But yeah, so thank you for all who joined the live, the thumbs up, the hearts, the love, the comments. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to DM me and ask me. I'm happy to answer them. But all in all, I'm just so grateful to you, Taisha, Erica, Germany, and Alexis for being here, for being vulnerable, for just, oh my gosh, the things that you guys said. I probably will rewatch this video like 10 times because we just all need that encouragement and that love. And I'm not even a words of affirmation person, but today I was like, I can see why people love words of affirmation because this feels so good. Like, and I'm just so grateful for the kind words that you guys said. And I'm just, again, so honored to be on this journey with you and so excited to be able to see what's next. So I hope that you all have an amazing remainder of your day. Thanks for staying on here a little bit longer than we expected, but I'm just so grateful, and kisses and love to you guys all for this week. And I'll talk to you guys inside the group. Hugs, all and hugs too.
Bye, virtual hugs and kisses.
And have a wonderful week, y'all.
Y'all take care.
Bye.